Hey everyone, in today's video, we've got a $13 Technics SL-3200. Yes, you heard me right, I picked this up at Goodwill for 13 bucks. Let's take a closer look and see why it was so inexpensive. It's getting cold out here, folks. No more leaves on the trees. And there it is, $13, electrical. At first, it looks pretty complete. Looks like an okay looking record player, but if you look closely, it's quite dirty. Quite dirty. It's going to need a very good cleaning, and most unfortunately, if you look right here on the dust cover, quite broken. Probably not going to be able to repair that, unfortunately, just due to the missing pieces, and I don't know if you could ever get the cracks out of that plastic there. Other than that, you know, direct drive. I always like these direct drive Technics tables. My very first Technics, which you see in all my videos when I do tests, is a Technics direct drive turntable. I believe it's the SL-3200. This one even came with an anti-static vinyl record care system, so that's kind of cool. And we've got some unknown stylus and cartridge on here. I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, it's getting replaced because I don't know its history. And new stylus and cartridges, they're not very expensive, and they're pretty good today. And here's the back, and you know, even if you look down right here, you can see that dust cover is warped, so it wouldn't even be worth fixing anyways. And you got the cords right on it. There's no cables needed, they're just hardwired right into it. Let's get this thing on the bench. Let's see if it even turns on. All right. Let's get this thing plugged in and turn it on. We've got the 2215B right here. We will use this as our test rig. Undo all this nonsense. All right, let's get this thing plugged in to power. Come on over here to phono for the input. And then of course we will need our chassis ground connections so we don't have a bunch of AC hum when we try to listen to a record. I'm going to take our broken dust cover off because, well, since this one is broken right here, we don't even get to use that hinge, and then it just wants to fall closed like so. And can't have that. And we'll be replacing this anyways. We don't need this. Now with these direct drive Technics turntables, generally the way you turn them on is you just bring this over and the motor should turn on. And that is exactly what we have going here. So that's excellent news that our platter turns. Our motor appears to be good. We're going to go ahead and check our queuing control. And there we go. That works. Now I don't know if it came through or if it will come through, but I'm noticing that right here we are not really up to speed properly at all with these speeds here. So at 33 RPM, at 60 Hertz, we're looking at this bottom ring right here. Let's see if we can bring that into spec, and it looks like I can do the pitch adjustment, and I can get it to stay in one spot mostly. I'll bet you these are really dirty, and they're really going to be affecting how much this is drifting. If we switch to 45, what do we get? Not looking too good so far. Let's see if we can lock in on the third from the top ring here, and it looks like we can. We can get that to stay put. And now with the queuing up, I can bring this over here. Let's see if we have automatic return on this. Looks like we do. It brings it back. Does it stop the motor? It does. If I do this and I do the stop command, does that work? Kind of. Oh, that's cool. It slides it right back. So it looks like we're mostly functioning here. The last true check here is to see if we have sound. So I'm just going to touch this, and I can hear that. Let me turn the volume up on the speakers, get it nice and loud. That's what it sounds like. And now I need to see what the sound coming out of this actually is like. We have some sound. We appear to have full functionality of all of the controls here, but what's happening when we, let's put it on the right speed. What's happening when we try to get sound out of this? Oh, it tries to fight me. Okay, let's try that again. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's very wrong. We need to We need to figure out what's going on with our counterweight back here. I'll try turning up the anti-skating, I guess. Does it even move? Well, I can't really adjust that. That's interesting. If I pull this counterweight back a little bit, does anything happen? We get it to stick way up high. If I put it all the way forward and put all the weight of the stylus on the album, it does work. Not really. Oh, this is a disaster. Oh, there we go. But if I do that, and that's what paper sounds like. You know, folks, upon closer inspection, I don't think we have a working stylus. I think that there's supposed to be a tip in there that's supposed to sit in the grooves, and it might be broken off. There's some white paper for a background. I don't know if that's going to come in better. Yeah, looking straight on that thing, I do not see any pointy on that stylus there. And for your reference, this is my other Technics record player that I use for testing. You can very clearly see the pointy end of the elliptical stylus. Good thing I've got a new stylus for it. See, when I got this thing and I couldn't even read any name on the stylus, I knew I was going to have to replace it with something. So I went with a good yet budget-friendly thing, the Audio-Technica AT-VM95E. There will be an affiliate link for this in the description if you want one for your record player. I think I paid 65 bucks. I think people like it better than the Ortofon Red. And if you don't want to go to the Ortofon Blue, which is 200 bucks, then this might be a good option for you. But, you know, I'm not a vinyl expert. You'll have to do your own research. And then I also built a new cover. Much more on this later in the video. But before we do cover replacement and stylus replacement, this thing needs to be totally deconstructed, cleaned up, and examined closely. We'll come back to this later, and it's going to sound much better. First thing we'll do is remove the platter, which is really easy on a direct drive table. You just take it off because there's no belt. It's great. And looky there, there's the windings for the motor, or some of them. That's pretty cool looking. I don't think I've seen them there before. I'm going to secure this, and let's just immediately start going about the removal of this stylus and cartridge, because we have no idea what it is. I don't even think it's set correctly, because it was just pushed all the way back. I believe the new one comes with all new hardware. There's one nut. And there's two nut. She is free. Oh, do we have an answer? ADC stereo pickup. I don't know. I'll use a screwdriver to pry. Yep. Much better. At least get them started, you know. Okay. Light is out. Red is out. The green and blue. Alright, straight to the trash. I'll put the cover back on for just a moment while we use it as protection for all this stuff to flip it over and start taking apart these bottom screws. This should come off. It does. Very nice. So right here is that anti-skating control that I could not move much. And you can see right here it basically does nothing. This spring isn't even bottoming out. It looks like that grease is still there from the factory on that spring, but if I twist real hard, I can get this thing to move. And the fact that we had trouble is due to, as you can see, the bead of grease on this spring is not stretching, it is breaking into pieces. So this is essentially turned into jello, and we need to replace this grease. And yeah, even that grease is more like a wax at this point. Very gross. And right over here we've got the stop mechanism, and that moves plenty freely. Probably not much need for a re-grease there. And then here is our queuing control, which we saw works very well. No need to change anything there, really. The very first thing I'd like to do is go here. This is where our speed control potentiometers are and the speed control switch. Let's work on getting this removed. Oh, there's a switch cover on the other side. Oh, there we go. Remember your switch covers first. And now this gives us access to these potentiometers, and we can use some deoxit to clean these up and then maybe get better speed control out of this system. I'm going to remove these if I can and clean them. Yes, I can. We've got a nice little access hole right here, that little sliver. Let's start with the CRC. Just good old contact cleaner to flush all the junk out. We have a visitor. Hold door. What's up, boy? Remember that toy we were playing with? You want to play with it again? Yeah, that's right. Alright, you have fun with that. I'm going to keep working. Send this stuff into the speed switch as well. A little nicer of an opening on this one. Alright, now let's take the good stuff. Let's try and get it in these pots and this switch. I mean, we'll find out real soon if it's not good enough, and if it's not, it's pretty easy to get back here, isn't it? While I'm in this front area, I'm noticing there's a bunch of little plastic snaps on here. One right there. One there, one there, and a few more over there, and I believe that's our front little panel with all the switch names and stuff on it. So I'd like to get that out to give it a proper cleaning. Yep, that worked. Of course, again, I forgot to pull these switch covers. It's not coming out. I think we got to get these plastic things out of here first. That one's okay. This one has been giving me some trouble. That really doesn't want to come out. It'll take some serious convincing. Okay, there we go. Now she's out. Alright, so to get this black piece off, you need to remove all switches, including these guys here, including the plastic covers that are underneath the actual switch covers, and then, and only then, can you get it off for a nice good cleaning, because this thing is so gross. And all the snaps are still intact. Excellent. I think all we'll need with this one is some good old warm water and just hand soap even. I think will be just enough to get this thing looking good again. Well, I already broke one snap, so lesson learned there. Gonna have to be a little more careful on the underside. Good thing there's 6 of them. Yep, that's looking quite a bit better, if I do say so myself. I like that a lot. And while I've got the wet cloth out, let's go ahead and give this a nice wipe down, because it's really not that dirty. It's just dusty. There's no like bad stuff, no nicotine, there's no bad smells to this thing. Let's work on this gross anti-skating control real quick. Will it come apart? Yep, it comes out. That's good news. Look how tiny that screw is. So tiny. So that means, what does this mean? Oh god, what was that? I'll have to clean this in the unit because I don't want to deal with that spring. And what was that fell out? It was our anti-skating control thingy. So this is what our screw goes back into. We'll fix that in a minute. We just need to clean up this gummed up washer. Probably get some IPA and clean up all that. Okay, here's one Q-tip with IPA. Looks like it's dissolving it pretty nicely so far. I think that's the best I can do in there. Let's get our little, looks like a copper shim washer. Get this cleaned up, and this is a really important piece because this is what's actually sliding along this profile in here. So we want this to be very clean. This is what had all of the dried up waxy grease on it that wasn't doing us any good anymore. Along with this one, of course. Like I said, gotta get these very clean. No more old grease. Alright, now it's time for some reassembly action. Let's see if we can do this before the camera battery dies. So I'm just going to say right now, I don't think I have the right grease for this job. You are definitely not supposed to go get your old red and tacky out of the garage. So I'm going to use this synthetic grease right here. I think this is, this is Dow Corning Molykote EM30L. So I'm jumping the gun here. First we need to put a little bit right here for our pivot point, and then we gotta get a good amount over here for our actual movement of our piece here. I'm gonna get some all over this washer here, and I cannot remember which way this was, but I think I'd rather have it this way with it bowing up. I could be wrong about that. So now let's bring this over. We'll get it over the pivot. Let it kind of sit there. And then we've got this guy. I'm going to sneak underneath with it. We're going to make sure this is going through both the washer and the arm here that actually pulls the spring. So this is feeling very smooth, very easy to turn compared to last time. And let's get this screw on here. Oh gosh. Hopefully it's magnetic. It's not magnetic, dang it. Alright, let's try that again. Put the screw right here. We are threading into plastic, so we must take extreme care. And that feels tight to me. And would you look at that? We have an excellent anti-skate control. Once again, I can do that with one finger and it stays in place. Alright, it's the next day. Now that we've got this sorted out, I'm looking underneath this board and I see some capacitors, and I'm feeling spicy. Let's take this board off and see what we've got going on. I think after removing these screws, it should just lift right up. Yes, because there's a pass-through connector right here, where this is where this whole thing kind of attaches to the motor board over there. Probably clean these up with some deoxit before we put them back, but yeah, check out these capacitors here. Got a transistor and then an IC chip buried underneath this metal heatsink here. So maybe we'll add some new thermal compound to make those a little bit more efficient. And then all these capacitors in here are probably bad, so they look to be pretty standard values. Let's just go ahead and replace them. Why not? Yeah, I'm not normally in the mood for just parts can and recapping stuff, but I don't know, something about this board. Today I am. These are going to be pretty easy to get to, so that's half the reason I'm into it. So there's a few bipolar capacitors on here, these three, so I don't have any bipolar electrolytics, so I'll just use these films here. These are just standard, and then I'm going to put films in place of these three right here, because these are under a microfarad, and I've got these guys. I bought these, I looked back just to check the voltage reading. It was like 10 years ago. These are Nichicon polyester film caps, and I've had them forever, and I just got to get them in something, and we'll get rid of this little tantalum capacitor, and yeah, let's get to it. came out a little sloppier than I was hoping. Didn't quite plan that correctly, but whatever. The last thing I want to do here is I want to clean these pots right here. And I'm going to try and put them back the way I found them, but if you recall, last time I had a turntable on here was the Sony PS-X5, and these guys being dirty led to a lot of crazy problems with the quartz drive or whatever on that table. So let's go ahead and clean these and go from there. I'm going to take a photo so we can note the original position, and I'll just leave that right there. Then I can come in with the good stuff, and we'll just do the thing. And that was about there. Perfect. Got my phone a little dirty. Then we'll just take this thing, we'll just put a small amount on each of these pins here. And that'll help it out, right? Oh, that's right, I was gonna do heat sink compound down here. Never mind. Let's just do that real quick. Okay, now we're ready to go back in. Just line these up with the holes. Push right here. And there, I think we are in. Alright, it's time for some reassembly. Let's get that, this thing, the nice looking part, back on here. We just slide in like that, and then there should be 5 snaps on this one. There used to be 6, but now there's only 5. And looks like we're about snapped in. I'll have to clean that again because my fingers are greasy. Right, let's flip back over. We'll get these cleaned off knobs, I guess, back on these potentiometers, and slide this right back into the unit. What screws did I use for that? I think it was these short ones. Next, let's get our cueing and stop switch back in place. And this one only goes in one way, so you gotta make sure you get your switches lined up with the unit, and then pull your levers into place, and then it'll go in. There we are. Long screws for this one. I think that's everything. Let's get the cover back on. Okay, real quick, before I put that back on, I just want to show you how the stop mechanism works. So that's the home position. So like if I were to do the stop command, I'd push this in. And you can see it activates something when the platter's turning. And then look at that, it's pushing the stop switch right back where it's supposed to be. So that's pretty cool. I guess this kind of goes without saying, but you may have noticed all of these fasteners are going right back into plastic. And I am torquing them very, very carefully, because it doesn't take more than a few inch-pounds to over-tighten these and completely break off and destroy the boss inside of the case. You can feel it when they're bottomed out. Like, it's pretty abrupt. And you don't want to go any further than that. Before I forget, let's get these guys back on here. And this one here. Cool. And of course, don't forget this one. There we go. Alright, let's do a quick test here. Don't ever be alarmed if you work on this thing and you turn it on without the platter on and it doesn't spin, because that's your stator, and this entire thing, this entire platter is your rotor. You see that magnet there? That's what is allowing it to spin. So let's get this plugged back into the Marantz, queuing up, and let's see what kind of speed we're turning at here. Let's try 33. It turns on. That's exactly what I want to see. So if I move this, oh yeah, I'm getting much better control out of this. Remember what it looked like before? Let me zoom in. I remember what it looked like before, like I'd move this and it would like jump around and it'd be all weird. Now I can move this very slowly and I get appropriate changes in the speed here. So that's great. I'm pretty happy about that. You can really dial this thing in and get it very locked in. Let's try 45. See how it feels about 45. Same thing. I can get that dialed in where we're looking at that third one from the top, making it look like it's not moving. Let's see if auto return works. Yep, it does. I hear it. It'll come at me real quick. There. And let's see if stop works any better. Yes. There it comes. See? Moved it back. Very good. She works. So of course you saw the old dust cover is in pretty bad condition, and I showed you this earlier. This is a dust cover that I made from scratch using CAD, 3D printing, and a little bit of machine work at the mill I have access to through my day job. So I'm going to peel all this paper off and these fixtures that I've got taped onto here. We're going to see how this looks, but first I'm going to show you some videos I took in the shop of kind of what I was trying to do. If you look at aftermarket dust covers for these turntables, all of them are just boxes. You know, they're straight cut rectangles, sheets of acrylic glued together from the best I can tell. And if you look at the original dust cover, I've got it right here. What do you see right there? And right there, you see an angle. See, these dust covers have angles on them. So, you know, you have a 4-degree angle. I measured it. Why did I measure it? Well, it's because I wanted an angle on my piece. So I modeled it in CAD, and I did some cuts and got the individual pieces out. And then I made these fixtures that have a 4-degree angle to hold it up just right. But if you think about it, the laser cutter or water jet or whatever cut this, I got this material from Send Cut Send, it's just going to do a straight cut. So like this edge on this piece and this edge that's mating to the bottom here are straight. But if I'm going to have an angle, I need to cut a very mild angle into one side of these 4 pieces for it to actually line up perfectly. So that's what I'm about to show you in the shop. I want an angled face right here so I can get this without there being a gap in my glue joint. So what did I do? I've got this thing over here, and I've 3D printed a special fixture that attempts to make a 4-degree cutter bit out of this mill. And I'm just kind of slowly, carefully pushing all of my pieces through that. So I already got that one done. You can barely see. So basically, you know, just taking it while it's running and going like that with extreme caution. It's an angle.
You can give me a hard time if you want to for some comic relief, if you think of anything witty.
Alright.
Alright, so you saw me doing the thing with the fixture here in the mill. Got the original cover. I did do a test fit in here to make sure my send pieces are the right size. And I've kind of peeled back the paper here. So I've got exposed plastic where I'm about to use this acrylic cement, and I plan to just kind of run a bead these inside edges and get like the upper edges too. I figured that'll keep it really clean from the outside. Got my fixture here, which is 3D printed, and I was going to use clamps, but I ended up just using some masking tape to kind of set everything just right. So the plan now is just figure out how to use this acrylic cement and see how it goes, and maybe we'll have a nice dust cover when we're done. And how am I supposed to dump this in?
Yeah, good luck with that.
Just carefully?
Is that not a two-part?
I don't know.
No?
It's got to spill. I don't need much, so that spilled a lot. Again, oh, that one's better. Okay.
Would it be easier to submerge it straight in the...
Yes, but I think this is enough.
Okay.
Thank you for having that thought.
After, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh wow. I gotta get some vacuum going here so I have some control. It's just falling right out. I've got a little more control now, so I think, I don't know, I'm just gonna start in here and, oh yeah, it's seeping all the way through. This is gonna be a mess. Hopefully it cleans up nice. I wonder if this is compatible with PLA or not, or ABS. I printed the fixture out of ABS.
Guess we'll find out.
Is it coming out? No, maybe it's coming out. There we go. Okay. And then I guess for the corners, I'll just kind of come up. Yeah, I'll go up. Oh god. Just drop a little drop on the corner. Alright. Well, I don't think that was too much of a disaster. And unfortunately, as I feared, it would appear I have cemented the ABS 3D printed things to my acrylic. Alright, so that one comes off. The fact that one of them came off gives me some amount of hope. I think a putty knife is going to be a pretty safe tool for this. Okay, I got that wrapped up off camera. I got the stuff off and used the putty knife. Most of the paper, I think all the paper stayed intact actually. So there's hope here. I don't know about you, but I am happy with that. It looks better than I expected, honestly. Before I show it to you on the table, we need to add some extra hardware that I made, because obviously we can't just slide into the hinges. We need to put these guys on so we can actually slide in. Alright, before I tighten those, let's see if I can measure. Let's see if these line up with the hinges. And it does. Wow. Look at that, folks. Now does it fit?
Oh, wow. Wow. That's awesome. I'm impressed. I'm happy with this. All right, close-up time. I'm gonna toot my horn big time. So there's that angle that we cut with the mill. If it would focus on that corner, yeah, you can see that's a flat joint right there because that 4-degree angle I got cut in there. The biggest issue so far is some of the leftover ABS and some of the joint areas that just ripped off of the fixture, so I'll have to clean that up later. But I mean, I wasn't going for this, but look at that corner. That's basically equal distance from each face there. And the same thing is happening on the other side. That is good. And it's just so clear, this material. I mean, obviously it's brand new material and it goes into the thing real nice. I'm happy with my brackets. I'm happy with my hardware choice. I think that looks really nice back there. And you know, the old one, it didn't stay open, and this one does. The only thing I didn't do, which I wish I had figured out, is I wish I had figured out how to get this thing in there. I suppose I could make a little sticker, but like this is like truly a part of the cover here. Yeah, there it is. So I didn't take the time to figure that out, but I'm not terribly worried. But yeah, this is what I was going for. You can see the angled faces. This is not a box. It's a Boss extrude with draft, if you know CAD. And before you ask, no, I am not going to make you a cover. I do not have time for that, but I will send you the CAD files of all the pieces that you can upload to SendCutSend, and I guess I can send the fixture thing. I am happy with my glue joint decision to have the front piece be the outside, so that when you look straight ahead, it looks more complete, right? The glue joints are strong. I think something definitely would have broken with me getting those fixtures off. Enough tooting my own horn here. Let's get this cartridge installed, because that's the last thing we have to do. Alright, it is time to unbox the AT-VM95E. Like I said, I'll include an affiliate link for this in the description. I got this on Amazon. Let's see what kind of documentation we have. So, obviously here's our hardware. We will need that. Here is the thing itself. Very nice. Very good looking. Put that over there. Aha! There's threaded inserts here, which is really nice, so we don't have to worry about a nut. And then in the instructions here, the user manual. So really what I'm looking for in here is the tracking force. Tracking force is 2 grams. It says in there. Way too tiny. So I'll go ahead and do the thing that I'm sure a number of you were screaming at me over already in the comments section, which is remove the head shell. So now we can far more easily attach our pins here. Alright, here's the deal. We got the white one goes there for L+, red goes here, the blue one goes here, and the green one goes here. Are these tight? Not really. Yeah, I'm gonna bend these so that they're a little bit tighter. I bent all of them but the white one, and the white one is the loosest one now, so maybe I'll just give the white one a little pinch. And put it back. There. Okay. Let's get our hardware out. We have 2 choices of screw length and 2 little washers. We are going to be using the shorter screws, and we'll be putting the washers on those also. Let's tighten those up slightly, or at least fully engage the threads, and then leave them a little bit loose. So we can do stuff like this and move it around. Alright, put that back on there, tighten it. Okay, it's time to float the arm. we'll go like this. We'll take our cover off and we'll just kind of bring in our weight until we are floating. Okay, I'm going to basically call that floating. So now I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to set that to 0. And then to get our 2 grams of tracking force, I'm going to twist this until it says 2. And that's our tracking force right there. Not bad. So the tracking force is set. Now we just need a protractor or something to get the alignment good. All you super passionate vinyl people are probably gonna just scream at me through all of this, but you know, I'm not one of those. I like vinyl, obviously. I own a lot of vinyl, and this is about what I'm looking to do here. I'm not looking to get ridiculously in depth with this. This is just a printable alignment protractor from alignmentprotractor.com. It was generated for me for the things I chose, and I don't know about the Bearwald or Stevenson or whatever the heck different types of alignments for this. I just know that this is something that will get me somewhere, and I'm fine with that. So anyways, you want your stylus point on the center right here. You're just going to bring that up and then look down and make sure everything's straight, which it's pretty straight. And then we'll come over here and we're going to try and get a happy medium between these two. And to be completely honest with you, I think I got it pretty dang close, just in that very rough. Like I think I'm good. Like I'm not even gonna try moving it. I'm just gonna tighten it. It will work. Did it work before? No. Is it gonna work right now? Yeah, probably. Are you all ready for the big moment? Let's see what happens. All right, let's turn on our test rig. Let's plug this thing back in. I think everything else is still all plugged in. Do we turn on? Yes, we do. And let's put it on. How is it gonna sound? Put the queuing down. And let's see. Oh yeah, that's a little better. It's not going friggin' everywhere. And it sounds really good. And I would play that all the way through, but unfortunately YouTube doesn't sell vinyl records of Track Tribe discography, so I should look into that. I should try and get Walk Through the Park on vinyl. That'd be friggin' awesome. So we all know what this looked like before. Look at it now. Squeaky clean-ish. Working. Brand new cartridge and stylus. And I would be playing the music. I would love to, but I think you all understand. This thing looks so good. I can't believe how well this turned out. Really happy with this one, folks. Like I said earlier in the video, my very first turntable was a Technics SL-3200, and it's actually right over here in the closet. That right there is my very first turntable that I purchased on eBay long time ago. And I purchased it when I was doing my research because it's direct drive. I really like the idea of a direct drive, not having to mess with a belt, but this one right here, it has the quartz drive system. And that basically means instead of these fine-tuned controls right here, there's just a little quartz semiconductor thingy that just keeps the speed perfect for you. Instead of you having to take the minute to dial it in, you know, of course, you're never going to get it perfect. Like, I'm sure if we wait here long enough, and yeah, I think I can see it, we're drifting ever so slightly. Like, we are not playing at a perfect 33 1/3 RPM, and that's one big knock for this turntable. I really don't like this that much. I think that they should all just be the way my Sony PS-X5 and my SL-Q200 are. Other than that though, it's tough to go wrong with a Technics turntable like this. I mean, it's classic. The look is just, you know, it's classic. You can't go wrong with one of these. If you're looking for a starter turntable or just something that's reliable and good, I recommend these. Any Technics turntable from this day and age that looks like this. So with that, thank you so much for watching. For the last time, I'm very happy with how this thing turned out. I think it looks awesome, and I plan to enjoy it a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to my subscribers, and thank you to my members who get early access to videos just like this one. Alright, I will see you in the next one. Are they gone? Alright, subscribers, come here. I want to show you something. Just want to give you a little sneak peek of some of the fun little things coming up here. We got this guy, untested, broken, missing parts. This guy was $1,000 new and I got it for about 93% off. This one, we're going back to classic age, fix it. This is going to be a good one. Really looking forward to fixing that up. Then in here, all kinds of projects. The box is a mystery. I'll share that one with you eventually. This was interesting. I got that for free. Looks to be the very last Sansui. I think the most interesting thing I got through that deal for free was this CD recorder. Like, I've never seen a CD recorder. I'll have to find a CDR and see if I can write something on it. And of course, this thing. Will I ever get back to it? I don't know. It's going to take a lot for me to come back to that. And of course, the most requested. It's here, folks. I'm getting to it. I've got the wire stripped. Just got to lay it down, glue it, get this one apart next. Don't worry. I'm trying to get to this. And I'll get to it as soon as this thing stops absolutely ruining my life. Sleepy kitty. Sleepy kitty. Yeah. Everyone loves you. Everyone missed you this video. They got to see Hodor though. Right? You were the star of the video. No one cares about the record player. Everyone just wants to see you. But yeah, let me know which of these or these piques your interest the most. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.